Hello and welcome. My name is Naiditsch and today we are live from the World Cup finals. Very interesting pairing between the Chinese superstar Wei Yi and we have from Uzbekistan Sindarov as well. Very young guy, very strong, who managed to qualify yesterday by beating his countryman Yakuboev in a tiebreak. Wei Yi had yesterday a bit of luck. He was defending a worse position and suddenly Esipenko has blundered a rook in just one move. So we can see how much tension is in the World Cup. So obviously one move blunder is happening very rare. And yeah, this time quite some luck for Wei Yi. What do we have now? We have currently a bishop endgame, opposite color bishop endgame, which should be a draw because just a pawn up is not enough to win the game. The idea of white could be simply to play rook, bishop b8, provoking something like a6, and we have the move a5, and the bishop gets to b6, king to g3. This is a draw, so very difficult for Wei Yi even try to find something small. I think it should be just a simple draw. Alright, let's see how actually we got here. And we have e4, e5. So once again, Wei Yi with a Petrov defense. Seems to be his main opening. Sindarov is trying this line with knight c5. It's an interesting line to play for a win with white, but of course not that simple. If black knows it really well, and obviously Wei Yi, he knows it really well, it is becoming a difficult task. So take g6. As we can see, both players are just blitzing out the moves. Both players are in their preparation. g6, bishop f5 is the next move of black, and of course g6 is avoiding the f5 push. Bishop e3, c5, all seems to be a preparation. Knight c3 attacking the pawn on d5, d4, because to keep the pawn on d5 by playing bishop e6, rook a d1 seems to be not the best. Anyway, the move d4 has to be played. So we have the move d4 instantly, knight to e4, a piece sacrifice, bishop e7. Black is not taking the piece on e3. In case we take, I think there is just a check on f6, king e7, and here maybe we can do something like where to move the queen. Let's see where to move the white queen, because it would be great to find a good place for the white queen. Then we have this rook d1 next, so we should be able to find some good square. Or we can give first check on d5, so king goes back, and now maybe first to play the rook d1 also looks interesting. But of course not that obvious. So black has moves like bishop e7. Yes, it is a very dangerous position for black, but hard to say immediately. So here I believe should be something for white, but it's not that simple. So maybe something like queen to b5 could be an option. The pawn is hanging, so black will have to defend the pawn. And then we have this rook d1 coming next. In any case, it is a very dangerous position for black, and obviously both players, they know the opening. So bishop e7 been played instantly by Wei Yi. Bishop f2 back, bishop f5, all still theory. Wow, quite nice. We have moved 13 already, and this is not the most popular line ever. So quite good memory by both of the players. g4, nice. Bishop d7, because these positions might be slightly better for white. We will have this f5 coming next. So yes, this is not so easy. Bishop d7, bishop g3, getting ready to play the move f5, and here comes d3. What an amazing move, d3. Just sacrificing a pawn out of nowhere, because f5 could be dangerous. So black has to act. d3, beautiful way to neutralize white's attack. Still theory, so both players still blitzing out the moves. C takes d3. In case we take with the queen, black can take the pawn on g4, so this is not good for white. C takes d3, f5. This is a key idea. Very beautiful idea, by the way. Very nice idea. Sacrifice a pawn, then to play f5, take. And the thing is, I believe it should be very close to equal, because very hard for white to get here any kind of advantage. There is bishop b5 coming next. Most positions with opposite color bishops just draw, so yes, it seems to be more or less draw out of opening. Rook e1. Still theory, Sindarov blitzing out the moves, bishop d4 check, bishop f2, bishop b5. Still both players playing so fast. Here is the first spot where VE is thinking. So he thought here for a little bit longer than 20 minutes, and we have the move bishop on b5. Makes sense. Why not to attack the pawn on d3? Queen to f3. Also long thought by Sindarov. And bishop takes b2. So queen f3, giving up the pawn on b2. Little bit strange to give up the pawn on b2 that instantly. I believe still it looks like a draw, because okay, f4 pawn is hanging, the king is a little open, so black should have enough compensation here. But why to give up on the b2 pawn immediately? I don't know, maybe he saw no better way to defending the pawn on f4. Still should be something, I don't know. Maybe white should just aim for a draw instantly. So maybe something like knight takes c5, I don't know. But the move in the game a little bit strange. Queen f3, so bishop takes b2, rook to b1, black takes on d3. So take, take, take. And here is the first interesting spot. Black is taking on e4. The question is, why not to take the pawn on f4? This is a bit difficult to understand why VE did not take the pawn on f4. Maybe he thought that after knight takes c5, okay, we take the pawn on g4, bishop on g3, bishop f1, king f1. Maybe VE thought that this position is just equal. b7 pawn is hanging, so for example b6. I don't know, something like knight d3, knight gets to e5, and VE thought, yeah, this is not possible to win, but I believe that black might be able to push a little bit, because two pawns completely out of risk for black. I believe there are some chances to play for a win in this kind of position, so you bring the rook to the center, and then slowly you start to advance the pawns. In case black manages to change one pair of rooks, then black should have some winning chances. So maybe not so easy to change pair of rooks, but I don't know. I think black has some chances to push here, and why not to go for it? How long VE thought about bishop takes e4? 15 minutes. So for 15 minutes VE been evaluating the position after rook takes f4. Finally he decided against it. I don't know. I think rook takes f4 deserves attention, because doesn't look like a complete draw, so maybe black could have pushed a little bit. After bishop takes e4, bishop c5, I think this position is just a draw, because how to win that? We have opposite color bishop endgames, which are usually a draw. The rooks should be changed in a couple of moves, so I believe this is just a draw. Rook to b3, yes, white is just changing, of course, why not? Rook g4, rook f3, rook to g3. Okay, some tactics. And yes, black is ending up with a pawn more in this endgame, but it's not enough to win the game. I mean, how to win such a position? This is just a draw. So white is gonna put the king to e3, h4, then just keep on waiting. Looks to me to be a complete draw. So the game is gonna end in a draw, I think, within next maybe 5-10 moves, maybe even less, if VE is not gonna try winning this position. But how to try? I think there are no chances. That's it. The first game in the final is going to be a draw, very easy draw for VE, and even more, I believe that VE could have pushed a little bit here with the move rook takes f4, but he evaluated that there are no chances. All right, VE is one of the best players in the world, so definitely we have to respect his opinion. Just it's hard to understand why not to take the pawn on f4, because g4 is falling, so there is no way to defend the g4 pawn. And yes, with a g4 pawn, then the rook on f1. I think black could have tried to play here for a win. Okay, let's go to the fight for the third place. And actually the fight for the third place is even maybe more important, because both players in the final, they qualify already for the candidates. It's actually all about candidates. To win the World Cup is of course a huge achievement, but to qualify for the candidates, this is all about the chance to become world champion. And the third place, so the winner of Esipenko and Yakuboev, is going to be qualified for the candidates. So extremely important match. Currently, what do we have? We have currently maybe a slightly better endgame for white, but it looks as well to be a draw. We have this big pressure on the b file, so b2 is hanging. Bishop, of course, could become very strong piece, but for white it's very difficult to change the rooks. In case white would manage to change the rooks, maybe there are some slight chances to play for a win, but with the rooks on the board, I don't see how to release this pressure on the b file. So in case white goes something like rook to d2, then the rook has to be passive on d2. This is not a play for a win. It looks to be a draw. In case white is going to try something like rook d6, which looks pretty normal, to attack the knight and try to get the pawn on e6. I believe still there is the move knight to e5, knight gets to d3. Black is taking the pawn on b2. Can white play here for a win? Yes, maybe a little bit, but it looks much more closer to a draw than to anything else. So as well here, I believe the game is going to be a draw. Let's take a look what we have in the opening. Esipenko is white, and we have the knight takes c6 line. I think Yakuboev surprised him a little bit with the move e6. I think it's not the main opening of Yakuboev, so he decided to switch to something else. Now we have the main line of knight c6, bishop b7, so not the very main. The very main is the move queen to c7. Bishop b7, bishop d3, queen c7, and f4. It seems like Yakuboev has been surprised by the move bishop d3. This is weird, because it's one of the main moves. So usually with the black pieces, in case you go for the line with bishop b7, you know the line with bishop d3. Queen c7, attacking the pawn on e5, f4, and knight to b4. So black tries to get the knight, the bishop. Makes sense. In case black does nothing, then white is going to be short castling, king h1, and white is better because we have this idea of playing c4 as c5, and then we're going to block both of the bishops. So knight b4, pretty logical. Bishop on e2 back, very normal play as well. To do castle is not enough to get advantage in such structures. c5, strong move. Bishop is very, very good, so this is approximately equal. Bishop e2, c5, bishop f3. It looks to be a little bit better for white in my opinion. Also, bishop d5 is quite a strange setup for black. So usually black is not playing the move bishop d5. Usually black is aiming for something very dynamic here. So for example, bishop e7 followed by f5, or try to get the d5 push. So eventually maybe something like rook d8, but it looks a bit too slow. So I don't know what is the best move for black in the current position, but black has to be very precise. Maybe there is something like f5 immediately also interesting to try to sacrifice a pawn and then go with the move d5. So yes, white is gonna take on g7, but we're gonna take back. Maybe black is having some activity because there is long castle eventually coming next, but difficult to sacrifice a pawn like that. It looks like maybe it is too much. So Yakuboev been thinking here for almost 15 minutes, and we have the move bishop d5. Quite a rare setup, so usually we don't put the bishop on d5. Short castle, normal, c3, and knight c6, and bishop e3. Okay, looks very normal play by Esipenko. Question is, why not knight to d6? Black has to take, and black cannot take on d6 in my opinion. We have the move c4, so there is a problem on the d file. If black is not taking on d6, so let's say black should take on f3 probably, otherwise white is just winning. So rook takes, and let's say queen b6. Is it better for white? It looks to be better. I don't know. I think I would be happy to be white here. Not so easy still with the king on e8 to castle long side. Probably is never gonna work, so black will have to castle short side. And once black castles short side, we have this move f5, for example. Then we have this pressure with rook g3, so not looking that easy. I believe position of white should be better here. So interesting move, knight to d6. Instead we have bishop e3, short castle, knight to g3. Quite interesting play to go knight to g3. Again, not sure it is the best. Not sure that knight to g3 is the best. I think maybe white should have kept a bit the knight on e4 a bit longer. On the other hand, black is getting ready to play d6, so eventually we're gonna see like rook d8, d6 or something like that. I don't know. By feeling knight to g3, probably a good move, but I'm not sure that it was a must. And yes, we have the move d5 been played. Absolutely correct play by black. Black has to play the move d5, otherwise it just worse. So take, f5. The problem is that in this structure it looks like white is better, but in fact after knight to e4, knight e7 is very strong. So once the black knight is on e7, there is usually never a mate. And yes, what can we do here? Knight f5, very solid place for the black knight. Next is rook d8, and I believe maybe white is doing very little better, but usually it's not enough to push. That's why Esipenko decides to play the move f5 instantly. Black takes on g3. Okay, black I think also had a couple of choices here, but bishop g3 looks solid. Queen g3. Yes, to take now with a pawn is not looking good. To take with a pawn is a bit risky. Such a structure, and black can just play knight e5. So endgame c4, because the c5 pawn is under attack. So we have the move c4 has to be played. Take, and rook to d1. Yes, so we end up in this more or less equal position. So let's see what happens next, but looks to be a draw. I think Esipenko has missed a couple of chances. I'm not so sure about the move knight to g3, so in this position, I think maybe white should have aimed for something better than knight to g3. It looks like there should be something better. And of course, knight to d6 also looks very promising. So instead of bishop e3, this move knight to d6. I think it gives white some edge. It looks at least better for white. So we have this position is looking better. I believe should be better. So this was a try for Esipenko. Let's go back to Sindarov Wei Yi. Is it already a draw? No, it's not a draw yet, but it's gonna be a draw soon. So we have king just stopping the pawn on b3. f4 and h4 are a little weak, but what can black do here? So for example, king g4, there is just bishop g5, and the next moves of white is just king c3, king b2 back. Yes, black cannot do something. It's just a complete draw. So how to get one of those pawns, it is not possible. And in case of h6, there is just bishop g7. So the h6 pawn is under attack. If black king takes h4, we take h6, we play bishop g5, and we keep on waiting. So I guess, yes, both players, I think, agree that this is a complete draw. So most probably we're going to see a draw in a couple of moves. Safe draw for Wei Yi. Okay, I think next game with the white pieces, Wei Yi is going to push pretty hard on Sindarov. So tomorrow is going to be a very interesting game. In the tiebreak, we saw both players playing very well. The rapid tiebreak as well. The blitz qualities of the both players are very high. But the question is, who is more tired? Because the tournament already 1 month in India, so not so simple. My favorite is Wei Yi in this match. Somehow Wei Yi showing incredible resistance. So he is never blundering something. He's playing very safe. It just feels like Wei Yi is in a great shape and also very tough psychologically. Sindarov, of course, yeah, very good, but my favorite is Wei Yi in the current match. Let's go back to Esipenko and Yakuboev. So what did happen? Actually, white managed to win the pawn on e6. How did this happen? So we have the move rook to d6 indeed. Yes, it is making sense. Knight goes to e5. It's very normal. So take and knight to g4. Wow, this is quite surprising move to me, because why not to get the knight to d3? What would white do in case we play knight to d3? Probably it has to do something with maybe with bishop a7, but this maybe not. Maybe knight rook e7 is a possibility. So the idea is that in case black takes on b2, we have this bishop d4. Yes, probably this is what Yakuboev has missed. Bishop d4, very, very powerful. So we don't care about the a2 pawn, because we're gonna win g7, we're gonna win h7, and this is quite a nasty position for black, because the pawn is moving forward. Very hard to stop the g-pawn, very, very hard. Hi to the chat. It would be great to see a little bit more action in the chat. In case you have some questions, I would be glad to answer them in case I can. So don't be shy. Good. This is nasty, yeah. This is quite a nasty position. So actually, maybe Yakuboev has missed this idea. He should not have gone rook to b8. Well, maybe, yeah, maybe. So he decided to put the knight on g4. Now bishop c1, rook d8, and it looks like a pawn up for white, but still a draw. Or can white fight here for a win? So white has to decide to play the move king f1 or to go rook to e1. Let's take a look. So let's say king f1 makes sense, because I believe that in case black is checking on d1, rook to e1, now let's say take, it should be winning for white. Hard to imagine that this is a draw. The next move of white is b3 or b4, and it should be a win. Bishop is just too strong in the long run. I think this should be a win. So black should not play the move rook to d1, but what to play for black? The next move of white is king to e2, so black has to act very dynamic. Well, what can we do here? Something like rook to d3, way too slow, so this is not an option. Maybe rook f8, but as well rook f8 is looking weird. We can go king to e1. And what to do next for black? I don't know. Looks risky. It looks very dangerous for black. If white can move like rook to e4 or to stabilize, I don't know, something like bishop f4, the game is just over. So Yakuboev is very close to lose actually his first game. I thought this is a draw, but then we have this rook to d6. Yeah, quite nice that everything is forced. This is the problem. So maybe black should have played actually knight to e7 with the idea knight to d5 or knight to f5, but as well this is not looking like a draw. Yeah, this position looks to be better for white. Knight f5 for example, and I guess or bishop c1, because after bishop takes a7, rook takes b2, the rook is just so active. So this is looking like black should be able to save the game, but bishop c1, and yes, how do we get some compensation? Black can take on g3, but this is not equal. This position is looking bad for black. a7 is weak, c4 is weak, so this is a very dangerous position for black. Maybe it's still holdable, but it's on the limit, and personally I don't believe it is holdable. It looks just very, very bad. So maybe yes, indeed, rook d6 very strong, but then the question is why Yakuboev went for this endgame, because there had been no need to play bishop takes g3. He thought maybe that this is just a draw, but I don't know. He has missed something. Just it's a bit difficult to see what actually he has missed, because rook b8, rook d6, maybe he missed the move rook d6, or maybe he wanted to go like knight to d3 and he missed the idea of rook e7 and bishop d4, but one of those. Now, not easy, not an easy defense for black. King f1, and yes, what to do now? Maybe king f7, but this is bad because rook e4, Rook d1 check. Now white still, I guess, rook e1, because this endgame, I don't know, hard for me to imagine that black is capable of holding that. It doesn't look like black can hold this. The next move is king a2, and then we play the move b3 or b4. Very unpleasant endgame. To my understanding, this is a lost endgame. If black would be in time to play something like a5 followed by a4, yes, but after a5, white is in time to play the move b3. As well, a4 is possible because the pawn is on the black square, so once the bishop gets to the pawn, it's just gonna eat the pawn. So, I don't know. I don't know how Yakuboev is planning to equalize here. Let's see, maybe I'm missing something. So Wei Yi against Sindarov, draw on the board, draw grid, makes perfect sense. Position is equal. All in all, not a very interesting game. Huge preparation by both of the players. A really nice preparation, which ended up in an equal position. Even Wei Yi managed to overtake a little bit for a couple of moves, but yeah, finally we see a draw. Okay, good start for the Chinese #1. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Let's go back to Esipenko. Yes, we have the move king f7 played by Yakuboev. 23 minutes for Esipenko, 7 minutes for Yakuboev. It is looking like white will get some winning chances, yes. White should get some winning chances. Of course, still a big fight. It's not over yet, but white should have some winning chances here. Rook is under attack. Probably Esipenko is considering, should I go back immediately rook to e1, or should I play first the move rook e4, attacking the pawn and the knight. After the move rook to e4, the main threat is actually to go king e2, so we stop the black rook from being active. Difficult to see what black should do here. So for example, check is sort of must. Change rooks, it's a bad idea. So let's say we go rook to d3, trying to keep the rooks on the board, but even by taking on g3, it's by far not a draw because we have the rook e4 move. So not easy to defend this position for Yakuboev. Maybe it's possible, but it is very hard. So it's gonna be a big fight. As well, Yakuboev in time trouble, so some chances for Esipenko. Actually, maybe we have another option here for white, and it is to play bishop g5. Bishop g5 would be nice in case it's possible, because after bishop g5 we attack the black rook. Let's say check, king on e2, but the problem is the move rook to b1 now. We give a check on e7, and here king to g6. Then rook takes b2 with a check, so probably this should be a draw. Yes, it's not enough to win for white. We can try to play on like bishop d2 take and rook takes a7. Still a pawn up. Theoretically, it's a dangerous pawn, but the problem is that bishop on d2 is very bad, king on e2 is very bad, and once the pawn moves, the black rook is going to take a beautiful position on a2, defending the a pawn from moving at least easily ahead. Black might be capable of putting as well knight to a better position because we have this bishop d2, king e2 really poorly placed. I believe it should be enough to make a draw for black. It looks like, yeah, it should be a draw. That's why we have Esipenko with a move rook to e2. So not rook e4, not rook e1, rook to e2. Probably it leads to more or less the same because bishop d2 is maybe the next move. That's why probably black can check and play the move rook to d3 or rook to d3 immediately, but strange play by Esipenko because white to put the rook on e2. Maybe he wants to go like a rook c2 next, but I don't know. It looks a bit strange. Maybe black can try something like a5. Very dangerous try, but on the other hand, if I get the move a4, then maybe I'm capable of changing rooks and hold this to a draw. So a5 is making sense. A4 is coming next. Now Yakuboev, after the move rook e2, has a lot of different options, so he is thinking 5 minutes left for Yakuboev, very little time on the clock. Let's see what he is gonna do. Yakuboev has to play something. 4 minutes, still 11 moves to be made till the time trouble is over, so 11 moves, not so little. He has to rush. He has to rush to do something next. Change the rooks enough to hold it to a draw. I think very risky for black to do that. My personal choice, a5. Maybe there is just a simple move like h5 to be sure that we protect the knight on g4. Also useful. Maybe we have the move rook to d3. So rook goes here. Trying to get the pawn on g3 is also making sense. So quite a wide choice for black. So Yakuboev is not sure how to equalize actually here. Let's see if we will have a5, rook d1, rook d3, h5. 4 typical ways of playing on in the current position. 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Yakuboev is getting very, very low on time. So this is dangerous to go so low when you're a bit tired, and obviously Yakuboev is tired. Everyone who is getting into World Cup final has to be tired, otherwise you would not be in the final because you have to win so many matches. 1 month in India, not an easy task. Okay, let's see. Yakuboev with 2 minutes and 50 seconds, getting really low on time. I mean, in his shoes I would play something because, okay, you have to play a move. My guess is a5. Please write in the chat what do you think is gonna be played. And we have the move rook to d5. Wow, I would never think of that. Why rook d5? Very strange play by Yakuboev. Hard to understand what is the point of the move rook to d5. Maybe the idea is to play like rook a5, but this is not looking good because there is just rook e4, but I don't know. A rook to d5. Maybe the idea is to play knight to e5, but as well, it's by far not certain that the move knight e5 is actually a good move. Very, very strange play by Yakuboev. Why to play the move rook to d5? Hard to tell. Another question is what black is gonna do in case white is playing something like b3. So we try to do something. Maybe the idea is rook to d3, attacking the pawn on g3 and the pawn on c3. Could it be the idea of Yakuboev? Maybe, but also this is looking far from easy. We have bishop d2. Let's say black is gonna take, we're gonna take back, black is gonna take on g3, but this is not a draw. It's quite a nasty position to defend with black. We can play something like rook e4, for example, so put some pressure, and rook a4, rook a7 is coming next. So is this a draw? I don't know, doesn't look like a draw to me. I think not easy to defend this position with the black pieces. Maybe it's possible, but it's a long and nasty defense. So no fast draws. Why to play the move rook to d5? I don't know. Hard to tell. Also, after thinking for 2-3 minutes and he had just 5, so I don't know. Rook to d5. A bit strange. Esipenko is still with 20 minutes on the clock and he feels that there is a chance to win the game. So Esipenko is now thinking, should I play the move b3? Should I play the move king e1? Should I go like straight with the move bishop d2? Many options for white and everything is looking actually pretty decent. So I think Esipenko is gonna take his time because there is no rush. 20 minutes on the clock and white has chances, so Esipenko is trying to think of something nasty. to make a practical move, because sometimes the best move is actually not leading to the best result. In chess, it's quite strange. Sometimes we choose to play not the best move, but the most unpleasant move for the opponent. Unpleasant move could be, for example, not a forced move. So again, Yakuboev would have quite a wide choice of options, and then you're starting hesitating, and then sometimes you just take a wrong decision because you think left, right, both looks okay, quite uncertain, and you're sort of irritating, and you play the bad move. I think the same happened here, because I cannot believe that rook d5 is the best. So after rook to e2, Yakuboev had a really wide choice. My personal best is the move a5, because I think it's so good to put the pawn on a4. But Yakuboev had the choice of rook d1, rook d5, h5, but rook d5 is strange. I would never play it, for example. So rook d3 looks very normal. A lot of different choices, and then finally he came up with this rook to d5, but it doesn't look to me to be the best. Strange. Rook h5 is also not really a threat, so I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what Esipenko is going to play next. White is putting quite big pressure on black. I think one wrong decision and that's it. The game is going to be over. So Esipenko is very, very close to win the first game. Now is a key moment, because just so many moves for white. b3, rook d2 is possible, bishop d2 as well, king to e1. So we have at least 4 different options, and all actually of these options are looking pretty decent. So king e1 was the idea, rook e4. What can be more logical than that? Bishop d2, just that there is no more rook to d1. Also very, very logical. In case of rook h5, we have rook e4, so we're not gonna get mated in one move. Yeah, so bishop d2 also looks pretty normal, and rook to d2. Let's change the rooks. Black is gonna avoid the exchange of the rooks, so maybe black is gonna play something like rook f5 check, but as well this is looking better for white. So for example, king on e1, rook d4 is coming next. Is it a draw? Maybe not. So rook d7 as well. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like Esipenko probably is getting some winning chances. Yeah, the next move is just so important. Ooh, Esipenko 16 minutes, so 17 minutes on the clock. Yakuboev just 3 minutes. They are getting this 30 seconds per move, but the 30 seconds go so fast. It's very difficult to play the best move within the 30 seconds. Yakuboev is under big pressure. Of course, Esipenko yesterday just blundered the rook in a better endgame against Wei Yi. This was quite shocking, because first he wanted to move the rook, and then he has missed and played something else, and then Wei Yi just took his rook, and this happened actually in a situation where black went completely out of risk to lose the game. So it was very good, and I don't know. So huge blunder by Esipenko. Very pity for him, but maybe now a small recovery. So let's see. Let's see what happens next. Esipenko is still thinking. 15 minutes on the clock. So some time to think what is actually the best choice. So we have some nonsense in the chat. So Teddy Bear, if you're gonna write some nonsense, I'm just gonna block the Teddy Bear, and that's it. But okay, what to do? A lot of people in the internet. I don't know if I can block the guy. Probably somehow I can. So let's see what happens next. Yes, Sindarov Wei Yi, this we saw, just a draw. So white still thinks. Esipenko is still 15 minutes on the clock. Maybe if you want to suggest something in the chat, please do so. So in case you have some ideas, please write them in the chat. We can discuss the position. It's quite an interesting endgame. White is pushing, but things are far from easy, so it's gonna be not easy to see if white is winning or it's gonna be a draw. 14 minutes for Esipenko, so we have to wait a bit longer. I guess Esipenko is gonna take his time here. Very, very important moment. King e1, rook to d2, b3, bishop d2. Maybe as well there is something else. I don't know, but this would be my main candidate moves. So let's see. Let's see what happens next. We have to wait a little bit. In case you have a great idea, please write it in the chat so we can see. All the moves I'm suggesting, of course, is without an engine, so I don't like to look at chess with engine, at least when I comment, because it would be not real. With an engine, even as we can see in the chat, Rainbow Teddy Bear might be a superstar, but during a real game, all these heroes quickly getting zeros. So we are looking at chess without an engine. King e1, yeah, very, very solid. King e1 been played. Rook e4 is the next move by white. Maybe knight e5 now. Knight e5, try to get the knight to d3. Well, what to do for white against knight to d3? Knight to d3, not that dangerous, but a little bit annoying. We should have here a couple of options to defend from it. I think as well, the simple option of bishop e3 is even looking pretty nice, because we get the bishop to d4. So let's say even if there is a check on d3, I don't know where it's better to go, on f1 or d1 maybe. Both is looking possible. Hard to say what is better. Maybe even to go on d1 is not looking so bad. So we give up on the pawn on b2 and king c2, followed by this move bishop d4, and as well a7 is hanging. So also this is looking like a nasty position actually. But maybe there is something better than bishop e3. Let's see, what else can we do here except to play bishop e3? We can try to get the rook to d2, but this feels ugly. I mean, to put the rook on d2 and the bishop on c1, I don't think it is the best. What else? We have simple move like bishop f4, but rook endgame. Is it a good choice to go for a rook endgame with the white pieces? Not so sure, especially that we have the move rook f5, another pin. There is g5 coming next, and yeah, king on g1. I don't know. Can this be a try to win with white? I think it should be a draw. This should be a draw. So knight e5, knight to e5, except bishop on e3. What else do we have here? I'm not sure. There should be something by the feeling, but somehow I cannot figure out where else to put my pieces. Maybe how to play after knight to e5. Knight to d3. So big threat. Knight to d3 next. And actually, yeah, how to defend against this threat? b3, played by Esipenko. So he's not afraid to go for the rook endgame. He thinks he's gonna win the rook endgame. Interesting. Is it a win? So let's say knight to d3 check, king to d1. Black is taking on c1 and plays rook to d3. How to win this with white? I don't understand what Esipenko did because, or maybe even better, no, but I think rook to d3. Is it possible to win such a position? King c2, rook to g3. White has to take on c4. So now the c pawn is walking, but we have here the 2 pawns. So in my opinion, this should be a draw because we have this rook to g6 followed by the rook to e6. Pawn endgame, obviously better for black with a g and h pawn. So how to do something? I don't understand the move of Esipenko b3. This is looking strange. Probably, yes, there is a trick. Now I understand what he wants to do. So he wants to take rook to d3. Of course, there is a defense, rook f3. Yeah, I didn't see that. So rook f3, king goes somewhere, and then we play the move rook to f3. So we cover. Yes, this is looking nice for white. This is the idea of Esipenko. So quite a nice trick actually. So easy to miss this with black. This intermediate move rook to f2 looks nice, yeah. Okay, quite interesting. Yakuboev with very little time on the clock now. Just 1 minute 30 seconds for black. He has to do something. He has to do something fast. Otherwise he's gonna lose the game. Now Yakuboev has to find some great resource. Knight f4 is not looking so great because there is rook to d2. So in case black tries to win the pawn on g2, we have the move king e2 followed by king f3, and the knight is caught. So yes, this is not gonna work. Yakuboev has to do something. Just 1 minute left for Yakuboev. He is very short on time. He has to find a move. If now black is not finding the best answer, and I don't know if there is actually an answer, then Esipenko might be able to win the first game. It would be a huge step forward towards the candidates to win the first game. Tomorrow he will need a draw, so Esipenko would be with a half step in the candidates. And h5, no, this is not looking like a draw. Okay, so h5 is not a bad move, of course, to advance the pawns, but white should be better now. I'm quite sure that white is having now quite a big advantage. Even a simple move like b takes c4 is looking decent. So Esipenko was big chances to go in the lead in the first game against Yakuboev. So bishop d2 played very fast by Esipenko. Yeah, of course, why not? c4 pawn is hanging. Next move could be king c2 to be very safe. It looks very good for white. This is looking like a winning position, I would say, because I don't see anything that black can do against the move b takes c4, for example, next, or just simple king c2 followed by rook to e4. So it is looking like it is game over. We are move 33, still 7 moves to go for Yakuboev. It's not gonna be easy for Yakuboev even to reach move 40 without just having a 0 in the first game. So I have rook a5, yeah, making sense, attacking the pawn on a2, but the position is very bad. Let's see what happens next. I guess white is gonna move the bishop to maybe e3, because to get the bishop to d4 is just so powerful. I think in case white manages to get the bishop to d4, it's over. In case of Esipenko, I would try to get the bishop to d4. It looks just, it feels good, yeah. To have the bishop on d4 is just so powerful. Till Esipenko is thinking, just a second, let me fix this nonsense in the chat, because I don't know if I can block the guy to write some nonsense, so unpleasant. Let me see if I can block the guy just and so like that, and there will be no more nonsense. Good. So sorry for that, but it's just yeah, a lot of very unpleasant people are on internet, just writing some idiotic things, trying to get some attention, or I don't know what they want, what to do. Good. Bishop e3 played, so quite normal. Makes sense. Bishop e3. And bishop d4 is coming next. How to stop white from bishop on d4 a6. Yeah, this is looking so bad. Yakuboev playing just on seconds in a very bad position, so I believe that the game is gonna end actually before the move 40. The second pawn is falling. There is bishop d4 as well. It is not looking like Yakuboev is going to survive even till move 40, or eventually he's gonna survive, but it's gonna be game over. So to survive is not what actually Yakuboev should do. He should try to get some chances to equalize, but maybe there are just no chances to equalize here any longer. So the game is on the edge of being completely lost. Esipenko is considering, should I take the pawn as well? Very tempting is looking the move b4, because after b4, where to put the black rook? In case black rook goes like to d5, then we put the bishop on d4, and yeah, there is a4 coming next, a5, b5, a6, a7. The game is done. So this looks close to winning after the move b4. In case black is trying to put the rook on a3, then we play the move bishop d4 is still defending the pawn on c3. And now at the move a5, we have the move b5. So also this is looking winning. So I don't know, maybe b4. So rook d5 probably has to be played. Okay, bishop d4 is not working because we have this knight takes b4 at the moment. But there is simple move king c2 first. So later we're gonna put the bishop on d4. a4 is coming next. Maybe black can try to fight with moves like rook e5. So trying to use this pin, but all of this is looking very bad. I don't believe that black is gonna have some drawing chances here. It looks much more lost than anything else. So I think, yeah, looks not bad to play the move b4, but maybe there is just a simple b takes c4. I mean, why not to take the second pawn in case we can? The next move is just something like king c2, king gets to b3. Maybe black is aiming for a knight to e5, at least trying to recover one of the pawns, but still a very bad position. And as well, there is a move like bishop on b6. So yeah, this is bad. This is just very bad, and by far not an equal position. So it looks nasty. This is looking very nasty. Let's see what Esipenko is gonna do here. He's still thinking, so we have some time. Just let me check for 1 second. And yeah, it looks okay. Okay. This looks fine. So let's see. Let's see what Esipenko is going to play. Are we going to see b4? Are we going to see b takes c4? B takes c4, yeah. The most stable, yeah. This looks the most solid. Why not to take a free pawn? Indeed, why not? So b takes c4 played. Knight to e5. We have the move bishop on b6. So this is bad. And rook a4 looks also bad. It looks like it is game over. I don't see what to do for Yakuboev. Yakuboev was just 15 seconds, plays the move rook to e5. Yeah, but this is it, I think. Why not to play something easy like bishop d4 now? In case black is changing, I think it's just over. And as well, there is no knight to c1 because we just get closer. And we're gonna win the knight on a2. So this is game over. Bishop d4. I have no idea what Yakuboev wants to play at the move bishop d4. Maybe his idea is to play rook to g5, but we don't care about the pawn on g3. And of course, in case we want, we can defend the pawn, but there's just no reason to defend it. Because then the c pawn starts to walk, and it is the last walk. So for example, I don't know, king c2 maybe. Attacking the knight, let's say black is taking on g3, you play the move c5. And how to stop the pawn from moving. Eventually something like knight f4, so try to get tactical, but also this is just looking lost. I think I can play the move c6. Black is going to take the rook and we play c7, so there is c8 next. I don't see how to avoid the c8 next, so game is over. Let's see. Bishop d4 looking good. Maybe there is even something better, but I think it is enough to win the game. So if it's enough, why not to play it? Also, king c2 is looking winning. So also here, after king to c2, where to play with a knight from d3 for Yakuboev. Knight c5 maybe, because there is, I think, no other square. But here we go with a check, followed by bishop d4 next, and also looks like a complete game over. So Esipenko has to choose now. Many nice options. Bishop d4, king c2. Personally, I believe he's gonna play king c2 because it feels to be the most safe solution, taking absolutely zero risk. Or to play king to d2 also looks very good because knight to b2, the idea is to take the pawn on c4. But now we give a check on f2 followed by rook f4. It doesn't matter where the black king is moving. Let's say king to e6, we play rook f4. Defending the pawn on c4. Next move might be bishop d4 followed by king c2. So also this is looking like a completely winning position for white. Maybe Esipenko is a bit nervous actually. Maybe as well you can suggest something in the chat. What would you play here? Would you do now the bishop d4, king c2, or king to d2? My favorite is the move king to c2. But maybe your favorite is different. So let me know in the chat in case you have some questions. Of course, do ask. We have a lot of time. We are currently just following one game, so we can discuss some ideas that you have. Please write them in the chat. Esipenko, under 5 minutes. So let's see. We are currently move 35, so 5 moves to go. 5 minutes for 5 moves in quite a simple position is not a real time trouble. So Esipenko is feeling very, very confident, of course. He is so close to win the first game, and he feels that his opponent been playing lately not the best moves. So indeed we have the move bishop d4, so this is what we thought. There is rook to g5, and we've been calculating the move king on c2. So maybe there is something better than king to c2, but king c2 just looks winning straight away. So why not to play it? In case you can win, you just choose to win, of course, immediately. It's always the best. Forced win is always good, so in case you have a forced win, you just go for the win. Esipenko is thinking a little bit more. Maybe he's considering something like rook to d2 and trying to catch the knight. Also possible, but why to do that? I think king c2 is easy to be calculated here. So king c2, we attack the knight c5 move. Okay, this is obviously lost. So rook takes g3 is must. We go c5. We want to play c6. So there is nothing else than knight f4 because What else? There's just nothing else. We play the move c6. Now black knight has to take the rook, because again there's nothing else. Knight to e6 is not really a defense. There's simple bishop e5, c7, that's it. So knight takes e2. Here we go with the move c7. How to stop the pawn? Okay, there is no way to stop c8 queen. Yeah, the game is over. And let's take a look. So take. We have to give a check. We have nothing else. Maybe this is a way to stop the pawn, because it's difficult for white to go ahead. So we have king b3 check. And now after king b4, it seems like it is game over, but we have the move a5. Wow, this is a nice trick, because in case we go to the c line, we have this rook g1 followed by rook c1. So I actually, after king b4, a5. What a defense. Very nice, yeah. And black is winning. So here, after rook to g2, all white can do is just repeat the moves. So actually, Esipenko has to be a little careful. Obviously, he is going to calculate that. So we have the move king c2 been played, rook to g3. I think we're going to see maybe something better than the move c5 immediately, because knight cannot be moved from d3. So maybe there is something like rook e4. Just trying to isolate the knight. Looks good as well. I think, can we do, no, there is no straight win, because I thought something like rook d2 might also win the game immediately, but no. Bishop e3. Does it win the game on the spot? Let's see. So knight is hanging. In case of knight e5, bishop f4. So actually beautiful move, bishop f e3. Very nice play by Esipenko. And it seems to be game over, yeah. Very nice, bishop e3. Knight has no squares to go. Knight e5, there's bishop f4. Two pieces are hanging, and it will be game over. So great win. Great win by Esipenko. This bishop e3, so powerful, and Yakuboev just resigns. So yes, very nice. Very nice endgame play by Esipenko, actually huge endgame play. King e1, nice move with the idea of b3, making the thing so hard for black, but here h5 I think is not the best. So in my opinion, you have to go for the rook endgame, and then you have to try to save the rook endgame. It is a bad rook endgame. It is definitely a very, very bad rook endgame, but what else can be done? h5 is not the solution, because bishop will be a long time better than the knight on d3. So the only way for black to fight is in a rook endgame. And yes, maybe Yakuboev missed also that after rook to d3 there is this rook f2 check followed by rook f3. Then he saw it and he said, this is looking lost, but I think it's still the best chance to fight in these positions. For example, rook f3, you go like rook d5. It is a very bad rook endgame, but better a bad rook endgame than immediately a completely hopeless endgame where you have bishop versus knight. So in my opinion, this has been the best chance maybe for Yakuboev, but in any case, great play by Esipenko. Very convincing win in an endgame that looked from the beginning to be more or less equal in case black is fast enough. Rook b8 making sense, but here comes this wonderful rook to d6, and after knight e5, maybe knight e5 not the best, so maybe it was better for black to fight with a move knight to e7, or maybe even in this position, why not to play like simple rook c8, rook d7, of course, quite dangerous, but maybe we have some time to get active with a knight like knight e5, knight g4, so things are not that simple here. So for example, knight g4 takes a7, we go knight to g4, still a bad king for white on g1. Bishop is under attack, rook d8 is coming next. It's not an obvious win, so as well here we have a big fight, but the combination of rook b8, which looked very useful, but after rook to d6, knight to e5 and knight g4, bishop c1, your position is already bad, king f1. The problem is that black can never exchange the rooks. After changing rooks, position is lost, bishop is just better than the knight in the long run. And yes, then this not good move h5, bishop d2, and I guess it is just game over. BC is coming next. Also A6 is not giving big hopes. And this beautiful execution, King C2, Bishop E3. Very, very nice. Knight to E5, and there is Bishop F4. So beautiful. End of the game. Esipenko wins the first game. Congrats to Esipenko. All he needs tomorrow is just a draw, and with a draw he is going to be qualified for the candidates. And of course, for both of the players, it's much more important to be qualified actually for the candidates than to, let's say, win some money or be number 3 in the World Cup. Candidates, every player, every chess player wants to participate in the candidates. It's a chance to get to the World Championship title. So yes, that's of course a dream of every chess player. Let's see if Esipenko is going to manage to hold tomorrow to a draw to get to the candidates. And of course we have Wei Yi tomorrow against Sindarov. Wei Yi is going to be white. He's going to be pushing hard with the white pieces. Both players already qualified for the candidates. Now it's for them all about the title to become the World Cup winner. But title is less important than candidates. So I guess both of the players are already quite relaxed. So things are fine. In early variation, knight e1 check after bishop e3. We see this in the chat. So which place do you mean? You mean knight e1 check? Let's see. No, but knight e1 is always here. We have the rook here, so we cannot give a check on e1. It's always protected. In case we take first on g2, of course king takes the knight on d3, so there is no way to give a check on e1. Okay, quite nice. So congrats to Esipenko. All he needs to do is to make a draw. To conclude our stream, let's play a couple of blitz games. 3-0 to have some fun, and Georgi and me, we're going to stream as well tonight. So we start approximately 10 p.m. Dubai time or 7 p.m. Middle European time. So in case you have some time and you enjoy our content, of course, join us for the stream. So let's focus a little bit. Otherwise, I'm gonna just keep on losing. We have the Sicilian, the move h6, been played lately by Richard Rapport. So I like this move because we go g5, so we want to go g4 eventually. And the bishop gets to g7, not so bad. Of course, h6 is looking like so-so, to be gentle, but it's not a bad move. It's not a bad move at all. And after the move c3, we can do the a6, for example, as well. Short castle, I think, looking decent. Bishop goes away. All right, so why not to play the move d5 now? Bishop on g7, pretty good. e5, he wants to go like d4, but I think we might be able to go d4. Or should we go like knight f5 and then try to go for a crazy attack? Okay, crazy attacks usually not ending so well, so let's go d4 to be safe. Next move, short castle, then we go knight to g6, pressure on the e5 pawn. So let's go, short castle, knight g6 next. We put some pressure and we aim somewhere to play b5 or somehow to get rid of the knight on c4. So as well, queen c7 is looking pretty normal. Just a bit more pressure, so he has to go like queen e2. And maybe first to play b6 because I want to get bishop b7 and then b5. If I'm in time on that, simply I'm gonna win the pawn on e5 and the game is going to be over. Question is, am I able to do that? So let's see. Okay, looks not bad. Can we play the move b5 next? Knight d6, take. At the moment still not, but first a rook to d8 in case of bishop on g2. Bishop g2, rook d8, everything as planned. and we're getting ready for the move b5. As well, I have an idea of playing rook to d5, so both is sort of possible. Let's see. Let's see if rook to d5 or b5. h4, so he panics a little bit by playing g4, h4. Let's go g4 and just take the pawn. Or is there something that I'm missing? I don't know what I'm missing, so let's take the pawn. Probably he's gonna take the bishop because bishop f4 is not existing, so he takes. Okay, let's take back. What is the next move of white here? No idea how my opponent wants to survive in this position. Okay, we take on g2 because I have the check in case he takes with the king. So this pin is not dangerous. Bishop e5. Now I have to think to keep the long diagonal or just to take and be in a much better endgame. So why not just to take and be in a much better endgame? So let's just take because it feels so good to have this endgame. Should be just winning, risk-free. No real counter chances for white. So feels like very good position. Now should we go bishop f3? Can he somehow get the g4 pawn, or is it not possible to get it? Let's take a look, because we can just play bishop c6, also huge advantage for white. But I don't see how he gets to the f3 pawn. Maybe I'm missing something. This would be of course very pity to miss it, but I don't see how he wants to get to the pawn. So let's play something like rook d6. It's a useful move, protecting the e6 pawn just in case. Next move might be the move f5. So he tries with a a5 move to get some counter chances, but usually it is not helping much because we're just gonna take and then b2 pawn is going to fall. So it is useful, yes, but is it saving the game? Usually no. So let's take. Pressure. Let's take. d3 pawn as well is very weak, so this is a winning position for black. Just I need to be careful a little bit. If I'm careful, it should be enough to win the game. So let's play something safe. To put the rook on c5 is very nice, and he goes for the d4 pawn, but this is already not that important. We have simple execution ways. Let's put the rook there. Let's put the rook on d2. Okay, I had many options here, but this should be enough. Now the only problem is again the time. I have to play very fast. Oh, I played such a bad move again. Okay, so let's be safe. Oh, I played so bad now. I don't know how to win that. Terrible, terrible. I'm so bad with little time, but completely winning position. And yeah, when it comes to seconds, I'm just too slow to win even such a rook endgame. So let's see who we gonna face next. But of course, not to win that was terrible. I have to play much faster, but for me it's difficult to comment and play simultaneously. So okay, we have the King's Indian defense with knight on d7, e5. So I like to play this with the black pieces. Quite a tricky position. We are facing opponent who is a non-titled. Non-titled means not so much, to be honest, because sometimes on leeches we have people who are non-titled but actually have a title, or eventually there is somebody who has really no title. Hard to tell who we're facing. From his current play, not sure that he has a title, because not so good to put the knight on b5 that early. I believe black's position is currently quite okay. Let's go knight to d7, rook to d1, and where to put our pieces. How to play here with the black. Of course, okay, let's get the knight to e5. I don't like so much this move, knight to e5 and a4. So we try to get some counterplay. Usually I don't like to put the knight here. It feels not the best, but okay. So let's take it, and should we take the knight and then go knight c6, but maybe first queen c8, just to be safe that we're not gonna lose some material. This is a typical King's Indian position where black is a little bit squeezed. But actually things are far from easy, because it's very difficult to break the structure of black, and black will always counter. Just we need to think how to counter here. Maybe with knight a6. So let's try to get the knight to b4 and get the other knight to c5. Knight to d5. So quite a normal play by our opponent. Let's play knight to c5 still, and now we have to choose which knight to take next. Probably we have to take the knight on d5, or maybe we can try to play bishop d7, but c6 is never possible. This is an issue, so very difficult. We can try to play knight e6, but we might get this f5, f4, so also quite nasty. We have to be careful. Okay, can I take it? Queen c4, rook a2. Okay, way too unclear, so I'm just gonna take. I'm gonna try. Looks a little dangerous for black because I gave up, which I should not do that usually, but I thought that eventually I have this move rook a2, but I don't know if I have it. Hard to say. Also, in the moment, at the current moment, my opponent's playing extremely well. Very hard to say who it is. He plays a great game. So, or we face a very strong player, or maybe it's a guy that just irritates us. So what can we do here? Let's go knight to a6. So we cover. We want to play knight to c2 next. Position is a mess. Very, very complicated position. I'm gonna sacrifice somewhere the rook for the bishop. It's usually not a bad idea to sacrifice. So he plays quite smart. Yeah, he's changing. This was good. Queen d7, but now the position is complete mess. c6 is coming next. Can I play c6? I'm not sure. So let's try to play f5, also quite typical, to open everything. It's good. In case I can open it, the e file, these are good news. Let's see if I can do that. Probably I have to take with a pawn, but not sure. No, but I have to take with a queen. I have to take with a queen. Is looking better, because I was not sure in case he takes. Should I take it with a pawn or should I take it with a queen? Not looking obvious. Very, very complex position. Yeah, e5. Okay, I take. He's there. King h8. Now the question, what's next? Because I want to play c6. I saw that, but I could not figure out what actually is his intention here. So let's see. Let's see how white is going to play next. Bishop b7. Can I go like c3? c6, I mean. Let's go c6, because I'm just not sure. Maybe I'm missing something, but maybe I'm not. So of course I need to hope that I'm not missing. So let's take. Takes, and we have to improve the position of the knight. But how to do that? I can. Okay, let's go. Oh, but this is bad. How to improve the. No time again. Again, I don't have time, but as well, he has no time, so we both don't have time. Both playing very, very slow. Slow play. Okay, let's attack. And where can I put the queen? Oh, this was a bad attack. Okay, I have to place this. I did not see even. Okay, he lost on time, but yeah, now of course I'm just lost. Okay, it was an interesting game, quite a big fight. Hello to the chat. If you have some questions, please do ask, or if you want to know something about some position, also please ask. I will try to answer. So this time we have Queen's Gambit structures, very solid for both. We saw many games in the World Cup on the Queen's Gambit structures, so all is pretty normal. Knight on d2, so let's be greedy maybe, and let's take, and let's take. Rook c1, this is sort of still theory, but usually bishop a5 maybe a bit better choice, but it's interesting just to take the pawn. So white has definitely some compensation for the pawn, but pawn is a pawn, so let's try just to be solid, and maybe we're lucky to keep the pawn. So let's go knight e4, looks decent, strong knight. Queen on b2, so I can even check from a5. Well, this is surprising, but should we do that? I don't think so. Maybe let's go with the move f6, because I want to get king f7, rook e8 as fast as I can. In case black manages to get it, obviously black is going to be better. Should I go into this opposite color bishop endgame? It's possible, but it's going to be a little bit difficult to win the position, so I should maybe play something else, but what can I do here? Maybe knight d6, but I don't like it. There's queen b4. So where to put the knight actually? Okay, let's go to g5. I just have to play something, otherwise I will be flagged once again. And king f7, so I need to get my rook to e8. Once I'm there, I feel much more confident. We have this little pressure here, but it's not that dangerous yet. As well, I can just go queen b6 and a lot of different lines. Maybe I should have played it earlier, by the way. Yeah, why I didn't play queen to b6. I should have done it. So let's go rook e8, because I don't think that white can take here. I have the move g6. Everything is more or less under control. Is there the move e4 coming? Maybe, but it's not like 100%, so let's go g6 just to be safe. E4, yes, he plays the move e4, but is it such a good choice for white to play the move e4? It's a possible choice, of course. So I have to be solid. I have to be rock solid, but how to be rock solid here? Maybe knight e6, trying to make the safest moves, but I think I made somewhere a mistake. I should not have maybe let the guy push e4. Still, huge knight, but yeah, I should have done something else. I should have done something else, but as well, in his case, I would never play the move e5, because why to go e5? Now the knight on e6 is really, really good. White should not do that. The last, what I have to do is to, should I play the move f4 just to close everything, because I have this queen b6 and again the knight on e6, just so powerful. Okay, let's go queen b6, or maybe just bishop d7, because finally no pressure on b7 pawn. Yes, so we're doing safe here. King f8 to be even more safe. There are no tricks, there is no nothing. So let's go b6 in the long run. I'm gonna play the move c5 and it's gonna be game over. Of course, I have to be careful here. It's not like it's super dangerous, but just to be a little careful. Actually, can I take it? Why I don't take it? I just completely missed it. This was bad. This was horrible what I did. Why I did that? I did not see at all that actually he can just take it. This was bad. Still, it's a big fight because we have this idea of bishop g6 coming next, but now I don't know who is better. It's a mess. It's just a complete mess. I think I have to play like moves like c5 at some point. And can I take it? It's getting extremely tricky. Let's go where to put my pieces. Okay, let's take, maybe give a check. Take. Is it a mate or not yet? I think not yet. I don't see a mate, so if there is no mate, I can give a check here. Yeah. He just gives me a piece. Okay. Now bishop b5 and queen e2. Yeah, that's it. So a bit of luck in the end. I should not have played the move gh. Yeah, this was very bad. Okay, let's play some more. If I like to play the Cambridge sprints, not bad. Yeah, it's not bad, but it's so forced. So for example, in a classical game, I just played it a couple of times because the line is just so forced, but it's interesting line, so definitely deserves attention. And yeah, to play the opening is quite good for black. Also very active opening. This is nice, so you can win actually by playing Cambridge Springs with the black pieces, and it's quite rare because it's so difficult to win with the black pieces usually. Yeah? So that's nice in case you can. This is of course very, very good. So what is that? Let's take. Is it the same guy? Because I think we played already something very similar like that. But maybe I'm just mistaken. But I think we had already a game like this, and I think it was more or less the same guy. So he plays again and again this line. Unbelievable. Because usually once you're playing this sort of positions, you realize it's not the best that you can do, at least from opening point of view, so you're gonna change it. But the current opponent, he just loves to suffer here. This is weird. This is just weird. I think we already had exactly the same game. Can it be? Or am I crazy? But I think we had exactly the same game. Like move and move. This is crazy. So can I just take it? And that's it, no? Because in case he takes with the bishop, we're gonna take the knight and queen e2. Or should I go like, because there is c4, but it feels completely winning for white, like totally winning. Still, we have to be precise. Maybe just a slow play like c3 or c4. c4 I don't like. Let's go c3. I want to get my queen a4 idea next. He does not care even a little, so he pays literally zero attention to the things I do, and playing also ultra fast. So okay, so this is definitely not a GM. Probably it's a strong club player who is super fast. I would always advise you to think a little bit more about the ideas of your opponent. If you just blitz out the moves, yes, you might have some successes because you're gonna flag somebody sometimes, or somebody might panic, etc. But if you want to become a good chess player, you cannot do this kind of things. You have to try it at least to play a bit of chess. So just to blitz the first move you see is not the best idea. Actually, I did a very bad move, queen a4. Why I did this? I could have played bishop g5 and it would be game over on the spot. Yeah, why I did this? Okay, still position is winning, so things are fine. Just so let me read the chat a little bit. What's my FIDE rating? Now is very low, so I am even ashamed to tell it, but many years ago I've been in the top 20 of the world, so the day's been quite good back then. Now, yes, it's very bad. Okay, let me simply win the game by taking. It should be enough to win the game, to give a check, or rook b7 first. I don't know. Let's play rook b7 first. I think it doesn't matter. Now we can give a check and to take queen a7. So what's his idea? Okay, let's play queen a7 first and then rook b8 because it's enough to win the game. Just to be safe. Sometimes to be safe is not a bad idea. So we're gonna play knight to g5 and soon it should be it. Take. Little check on f7. Knight on d6. I think it's winning now. We have the queen b8 and the bishop is gonna fall. Not yet. Yeah, I have missed, of course, this move, but yeah, changes not so much. Let's take. Let's take, just for fun. Let's take everything he got. So let's check. Still fighting. Wow. Now finally resigns. Okay, this was not a bad game. Let me see in the chat. You have an opposite problem where I need at least 1 or 2 minutes per move to play in a decent level. Yeah, of course, if you play Blitz, 1 2 minutes are too many. But if you play classical chess, 1 2 minutes is perfectly fine. FIDE rating, yeah. 2574. Actually, it's quite funny for me to see 2574 because I think the last time I had 2574 I've been maybe 16 years old or something. Now every tournament my elo is going down. I stopped to play chess actively, so it's very difficult to play. If I played famous grandmasters, yes, I played them all. At the good times, I played all the people from the top 10. I played many times against Magnus Carlsen, Caruana, etc. But it's already some time ago. Okay, let's play another game. This time we have 2-6-39 opponent. Let's see. So d4, classical c4. Now we have King's Indian just reversed, and let's go for the line with d takes e5 and the line with bishop g5. Quite a tricky line. Not so easy to play this line with the black pieces. Next, eventually knight to d5 as well. Queen a4 with the idea. Rook to d1 followed by knight to d5. Queen b8. Wow. Let's go knight to d2 maybe. But how to do a move like queen to b8? What is this? Okay, so or we are playing a very strong guy, or we're playing a guy who is listening to somebody, because it is not possible to play like that. I mean, you must know what you're doing, so this is like to play moves like queen to b8 is or you know the line, but to know the line you must be a very strong player, because otherwise you would never play a move like queen to b8. It just makes no sense. Let's see what we do next. Queen a3 maybe. Yeah, he's playing very good chess. And yes, not so easy. What can we do here? To sacrifice something? I don't like to sacrifice something. How can we keep the knight alive on d5? I don't see how. I don't see how I can do that, so... What can we do here? Sacrifice a pawn. I don't like also, but I don't see something better, so let's start with rook c1. Most probably he's gonna take. I just don't see a better solution, so... Maybe we're playing somebody extremely good, or something is very wrong, so... Two options. Okay, let's go knight to e4. Maybe still some chances for compensation, or maybe no chances for compensation. So let's see. Nasty knight. Okay, I have to defend. I have to defend here. Position is bad. How to defend? Maybe with a move, but it's not a real defense. It's just very bad. So difficult to find the way even to play on here, because position is just so bad. So okay, let's go rook d1 just to put the piece to the center, but it looks like a bad position. Very difficult as well to fight here, because how to fight here even, yeah? It's like just nasty, everything is defended, I cannot really attack something, so very difficult to fight in these positions. I hope to get my knight to d3, so at least maybe I will have a good knight. It's not really a compensation, but it's a fight, yeah, so I hope to get something. Let's see. He takes. Okay, we're gonna take a5, another very good move. So unbelievably strong play by our opponent. I don't know if I should take. Everything is so bad. Okay, let's take. Do I lose the knight or not yet? Let's see. If not yet, then maybe I have chances. So I think a4, e4, maybe he has missed it, or maybe he has calculated this till the end. So let's see. He takes b6, like what? Wow. No, but I don't think we're playing a real player. This is not possible to play chess like that now. Okay, so we are going to block this guy because the guy is obviously way too strong. I don't know what is that, and it makes no sense to play this player because he is too strong. So how can I block the guy? Let's do like that and block. Okay, so we blocked. Nice. No more games against this guy. Let's play the next game. So let's start this time with e4. Again, we're playing not a titled player, so it would be much more fun to play a titled player because like that we don't know who we are playing. And as you saw the last game, okay, to play moves like queen b8, etc., this is like crazy, yeah? Just insane. So too strong to fight. Sometimes your opponent is just way too strong, so there's nothing you can do. Here we have a bit strange position for Sicilian because it looks like super weird. Everything is very strange, but let's hope that white is doing a little better. We have this pressure on the file, so I try to provoke knight e5. He lets me play the move f4. Why he lets me play the move f4? Okay, I do play the move f4. What is that? Queen d5, bishop e6. Still alive, but on the limit. I think just solid queen f2 is looking decent. And we should be able to play something like e5. Okay, should we go crazy? Let's go crazy with the move e5 immediately. I hope to get bishop f3, rook to d1, bishop e3, and we push. Obviously, not that kind of... I'm not 100% that actually I'm playing well, but let's push. Let's push. We're playing blitz on internet, so it's alright to risk a little bit more than usual. He takes a pawn on c2. This is amazing. So fearless. Instead of incognito shredder, we can call the guy fearless. I think it would fit him better to play with a king on e8 when you have like zero development. Unbelievable play. Should we go like f5 and then bishop h5 looking nice, knight to e4 looking also very nice. So how to win that? Knight e4, bishop g7, we're gonna take on d6 short castle, knight c5 looking much better, but maybe let's go bishop f3 first, and now take a5 or knight to d5, I don't know, let's go knight e4 maybe, because I have this knight g5 and ed as well as looking deadly, just looks so good for weight. Usually to survive with the king on e8 is almost impossible. I mean, in normal circumstances. Of course, blitz game again. In blitz game, everything is possible, but in a normal game, it would be just game over. I think queen c3. Does it win the game or not yet? Not yet. Maybe I should take or play d7 also. It's so many good options here. So what should I do? Maybe I should just take. Can I take? Ah, he has queen b6. I take rook e8. Not so easy. Not so easy. What to do? What to do? I'm stuck. Okay, let's go. I don't know what to play. I literally don't know what to do here. Okay, I have to do something. Why I got stuck like that? Just doing nothing. Completely. This was so bad. This was so bad. Bad play plus very slow play. All in all, horrible. This was really poor. Rook c5, rook b7. What's his point to go rook d6? But I have rook to d1. So let's see if this is okay for black. Maybe it is okay for black. I don't know. Can I go like, no, I can't. I have to take the pawn. Yeah, rook to d1 as well. I should have taken immediately. Probably. Still, I should be able to hold it, but so little time on the clock, so. Again, he will try to flag me. People just try to flag me all the time. Oof, I missed completely that there is a check, but I think he's not winning yet. Ah, no, he's winning. Ah, this was horrible. This was so bad. Missing too many things in one move. Too many things just in one move. Okay, let's fight. Of course, difficult to fight here, but what is this check? He just takes, yeah. Okay, we had a winning position, but then very poor play. And I lost, so let's see the next game. Next game we have 2-5-72. Where did you find my Nimzo course? I see in the chat somebody wrote Nimzo course. Where could you find it? Because it should not be there. All of the title players are sleeping. Yes. Could be the chess players that like to wake up quite late. That's true. In that, you're absolutely correct. We have often chess players who like to have a big sleep. Bishop g5. What a mess we have immediately, basically, from the first moves. Very weird position here. Queen d4. Nice play by my opponent. This is a good play, yeah, queen d4. I should have done something to avoid that. I should not have let him play queen on d4. So what can I do now? Maybe d6. Okay, we're gonna have a pawn down, but it's always a fight, so it's not that obvious. We still have the good bishop and queen f6. Yes, of course. We put the rook on, I don't know where to put the rook, g8. So e3 theoretically is coming, knight to d7 theoretically is coming. It's not such an easy winning position as maybe it is looking like. I think black should have some compensation, maybe to play the move e3, but as well, knight d7 is not looking bad. I don't know, let's go crazy with the move e3. So I hope to destroy the pawn structure of white. Maybe it is too much to play moves like e3, but maybe not. So knight d7. In case of white, I would, for example, never take on e3 because white will take it. Now so many. Yes, I have a beautiful trap. I think there's a check on h8, but is it a dangerous check? I wanted to go like bishop c5 and then to take, but I think it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I thought I have a beautiful trap. No, it doesn't work. That's pity. Still, maybe we are doing fine. Bishop c3 coming next. Okay, so let's take it. And let's take it. King f2. I believe I should have like rook g4 or f5, then knight to g4. So can I play the move f5, knight to g4? Or just a second, let me think a little bit. I can, okay, let's play. Let's play the move f5 and knight g4 because I think I'm just winning the rook and it is game over. So actually, nice tactics. Of course, a bit of luck. I have to agree that the things went so well, but quite a nice game, yeah. No, but there should be no Nimzo course of mine because very long time ago I did for Chessable, but then I didn't like what Chessable did, and finally they removed my course because we had a couple of issues I didn't like at all. They promised things which they never delivered, so I said no, not for me. And yes, then it's strange that still people have the Nimzo curse. I would, yeah. Okay, let's play a couple of more games, and that's it for the current stream. Georgi and me, we're gonna stream later tonight, 10 p.m. Dubai time or 7 p.m. Middle European time. So, in case you have some time, in case you like educational chess content, please join us. Otherwise, in case you can give a like and subscribe, this would be great. We started with Georgi's channel, and of course in the beginning it's very hard to get even some people watching because usually nobody watches you. So we would be happy in case you can help us a little bit with your like, with your share. Good. We have another game on the Spanish with white. You should not go bishop e3. This is not the best because now d5 and I'm gonna take with the knight. Oh, knight on d2. Very passive play by white. I think black is doing absolutely fine now. Maybe just a silent move like rook e8 followed by queen d6. Sorry, one square too far. Let's go h6. Just to be sure that there is no knight g5 somewhere. And a5 pawn, as you can see, it can be a great pawn, but as well it can be a big weakness in the long run. All I need to do now with the black pieces is to be careful. Actually, maybe I have missed something. No, it seems like still everything is fine. Just I need to be very careful not to miss something nasty. It's like take. Not sure because I can go d4 and actually position is absolutely fine, then queen c5 or, but I think I can play the move rook e6. It looks okay for black, but maybe I'm mistaken. Yeah, it was okay, so he just went back. He showed weakness. To go back is showing weakness. So takes, okay. we want to grab the rook and just go back, queen to d8. Still the rook is under attack, I believe. Oh, we cannot take the rook, or what? He wants to take there. Take. Okay. Yeah, probably I should have done something better. Still, it's completely fine, but I thought that I should be much better, but actually maybe, yeah, this was not the best. Or can I take the knight? Can I win the knight? No. Also interesting to play a move like rook g6 and then queen e7. Maybe I can win the knight on b7, but I don't know if I can. Can I? Or not possible? Nah, I don't think so. Okay, let's go bishop c8 just to be safe. But rook g6 was interesting. I've been not sure if I can win or not. He wants to take the pawn on b4. This does not matter, so he can have the pawn, no problem. He does not take it. Okay, so now knight goes here. Let's play maybe queen to g5. I'm not sure if I need this queen to g5 and queen e7 because I just want to go f5 with a tempo, but I don't know if I should have done it or not. Yeah, he just jumps around. All right, let's go f5. So rook f8 should be the next move. I guess black is doing very, very solid. I don't know if I'm better, but for sure I am not worse. Can I do something very tricky yet? I think no. So let's play queen c5. Idea is to play f4. He does not care about nothing. So rook e7, just let's be solid. I'm preparing the move f4. So rook e7, now I'm ready. I should be ready to push something. I just don't know what to push. Okay, let's go g5. A little risky, but okay. It's just so important to get the move f4 in case I can. No. Blundered pawn in one move. Terrible. I could have played f4 and much better for black. This was bad. This was terrible. And just to blunder like that, just terrible in a much better position. I think I should just resign now, because to play on so badly. Completely winning, and then, yeah. Not winning, but bad. I just play f4, a great position. Yes, so bad. As this was really poor. Okay, next game. Thank you very much for the chat. If you share with your friends, if you subscribe, thanks a lot. This helps. That's cool. Thank you very much. So if I like to play Alekhine, okay, Alekhine is a dangerous opening. So let's say in a classical chess game, it's too dangerous to be played often. So sometimes you can play whatever you want, but to play as a main repertoire, way too dangerous. To play Alekhine in a blitz game, that's alright. But usually I would advise you to play openings where you keep the center. In case you play Alekhine, you give up on the center, so it's always tricky when you give up on the center. So I would not advise you to play Alekhine like a main opening. Time to time to play Alekhine, it's completely fine, but to play it like a main opening is dangerous. So knight to b3, by the way, quite a bad move. So never put your knight on b3, because the knight has no squares to go except knight d4, and as well this is not the best. So to put the knight on b3 is not a good idea. Let's go just simple bishop d7 to finish the development. c4 is okay, so let's take it and play the move rook to d8. As you can see, black equalized completely. Maybe eventually even black is doing slightly better, but not sure about that. Should be around equal. a4 is coming, knight a5 is coming. Yeah, to play French in classical and Alekhine in blitz is perfectly fine. Yeah, that's a good idea. So can we trick somehow our opponent in the current position, because it looks to be pretty equal? Not much is going on. a4 pawn theoretically will be useful. Now we can, okay, let's take maybe first on b5, and then we're gonna put the knight on d5. So the knight, beautiful knight on d5. This position is still equal, but theoretically maybe black can push here a little bit because of the beautiful knight. Objectively speaking, it's just equal. f6, and in case e5, not afraid of e5. All right, let's go e5. I don't know why my opponent lets me play this f6 e5. Usually white should never give a chance to black to do something like that, because now it's getting dangerous. So the knight is under attack. Maybe actually that's it, or there's a defense. I don't know if there is a defense. Bishop a5, I have this rook c8, so this is not a defense. Is there a defense for white? Because otherwise the knight is gone. Probably there should be something, but I don't see what. Yeah, this is not a defense because we go with a knight e2 next. So yes, it looks like a winning position. So we play here, little tactic with the rook takes c3. In case he takes with the rook, I take it back. The knight on a3 is falling, so here we take first on c1, and that's it. Yeah. Okay, so this was a decent game, quite easy. Italian and Berlin against the e4. Yeah, Italian and Berlin as well been one of my favorite repertoires. I played the Berlin Wall for so long with the black pieces, so many games. I like Berlin very much because I like to play endgames, and position's been quite fitting me well in my opinion, so I enjoyed to play the Berlin Wall. This was nice. And still, I play the Berlin as my main opening for black. Yeah, indeed, very solid to play the Berlin. Yeah, very solid. Okay, so what do we have here? We have, I think, a better setup for white, because I have this idea of knight to d5, which I should execute in the right moment. Let's go this king b1, typical play for most of the Sicilians. And is it time to go crazy with the move g4, or should I still be solid with the move knight f3? In both cases, I think I'm better, but let's go crazy with the move g4. So g5 is the idea. I'm not so afraid to lose as well the pawn on g4, because I will attack. What is this? What is that? I can just take it, knight d5, queen h4, no? So let's play knight to d5. To take such pawns is, yeah, I would not advise it. To take a pawn like on g4 looks crazy, because white is gonna have such a massive attack. So for example, I just take back, and to play queen h4, I don't know if there is a defense, because we attack the pawn on e7 and the pawn on h6, plus the g file is gonna be so in trouble. Can I just play in style of the old masters by knight e7 check, followed by the move f5? So I feel like Capablanca or yeah, somebody like Paul Murphy, just attacking the opponent's king with all you got, and then let's see what happens. But we have to be careful, because otherwise I will be not like Paul Murphy, because he was usually winning all his games. So I have to find something. There is bishop f6 coming, but I have the move bishop c3, so it's not like extremely dangerous. Still, I have to play good here. So what can I do? What can I do? Actually, it's very interesting to take, because I play after rook g1, but it's a bit crazy to do that. Probably. Okay, let's go crazy. I don't know, I should have something better than that, but and queen h5, Paul Murphy. Let's go in style of the old masters. Rook g1, just a straight attack on the opponent's king. Very simple, very easy, just trying to mate, and that's it. Bishop g5, is it a defense? Yes, it is actually a defense. So how to do here? How to win here? Don't see a win. How is it possible? So, okay, let's take. And he's gonna take. Okay, this is sure, but how can I win here? Okay, let's go. Queen, where to put the queen? Okay, queen e2, but I didn't want to play her. Just I don't see where to move, and again, I have no time. So I decided to play queen to e2. There should be something better than that. This was horrible, but alright, let's see. Let's see if I can still maybe manage something here. Let's go e5. Let's go crazy. If I get my pieces to the f file, I should be able to win the game, but how to get here? Yes, I'm playing horrible. I'm playing so bad. I'm gonna lose the game. This is just disaster because such a winning position I had, like completely crushing, and yes, so I'm definitely not Paul Murphy. He would have crushed here. Currently, we are doing very, very bad. It seems like we are lost, but okay, who knows? We have to fight till the end. This is a nice thing about chess. It's never over till it's over, so let's keep on fighting. We might get lucky. He gives us a queen, like what? He just gave us a queen. This is crazy. So not to get mated, we're gonna take it. We're gonna play king b1, check. Now all I need to do is to be fast enough. But I'm not fast enough, yeah. This is the problem, that I'm just not fast enough. So most probably I'm going to lose the game because I'm not fast enough to execute the moves. So yeah. What to do? What to do? We made big mistakes prior. Okay, I didn't see even that he attacked. Okay, so we had a winning position, but I wanted to attack like Paul Murphy, and finally we lose the game. But okay, I should have played, of course, much faster. As you can see that no time, no nothing. So we play Candidate Master. So Candidate Master is a very strange title to me because this is not like it is an official title, and as well there are a lot of these fake titles like from FIDE Arena. When you see somebody like Arena GM, like what is it? So sometimes we have a guy who is 1800 and he has a GM. It looks so bad, I think, for the GM title, because back then when I was being younger it was so difficult to deserve the GM title. It was so difficult, and now you see Arena GM, whatever GM. Yeah, the same with a Candidate Master, because it was not an official title. It was just a local title usually in most of the cases, and now it got like this sort of official stuff. So let's speak about chess a little bit. What do we have here? We have a good knight on f4, so that's nice. Can we keep it just by playing g3, because the knight is so important? And in case we can, I think white should be doing better. Just queen to e2 followed by rook to e1, and then we have this pressure on e6. If it would be better to play with increment, yes, for sure. For sure it's much better to play with increment, but again, we are not playing here to achieve the best possible result, because if I play for result I would just not talk. And then the result would improve a lot, but we are here to learn something. Otherwise, why to stream? What's the sense of that? If I want to play for result, I just play for myself, and that's it. So I hope that these games are pretty educational. I believe in some cases, so that's why we have them. Otherwise, what's the sense of it? Okay, what do we have here? We have a winning position, exchange up, for nothing. So all I need to do is to be careful. There is knight d6. Eventually with the move knight e4 coming. Can I avoid this stress? I think I can just play the move f5. I have a monster on e5 in case of taking. I can just play the simple queen f3. Both pawns are under attack, and yes, it looks like a completely winning position for white. So let's see. Queen f3, and two pawns are hanging. It is game over. It is game over. Still, we have to play the last moves. Takes. Okay, let's take it back. d5 and f5 under attack. Black has to give one of them, so d5. Okay, let's bring the last piece into the game with the move rook to e1. Never forget to bring your pieces into the game. So first pieces, then let's see what happens. Rook e6. Do I have some tactics like knight d7? Does it work? I think it does. So knight to d7. In case black takes, we take the rook. In case black takes here, we win the queen. So it looks like complete game over now. I guess we won the game with this little nice trick. Knight to d7. Quite good. Looks good. Should be good. Yes, resignation. Okay, so maybe 3 more and that's it for now. Georgi and me, we're gonna be back in the evening. The Spanish, let's play the Spanish, the main Spanish, one of the oldest openings, similar to Italian game as well, one of the oldest. So we have bishop c5, knight e7 line, quite a tricky line, but actually not the best ever. So we go for this slightly better position for white. White has quite many options to get slightly better position. So, by the way, the guy offered me a draw. What is this? Okay, let's play queen f4. Draw offer, interesting. Rook g8. Wow, no, but this is too tough. Rook to g8. Don't try it at home. Rook to g8 is usually very bad, but okay, bishop e3. I just forgot that there is rook g6, but maybe there is not. So let's see. Queen f6. Maybe the game is just over because the king is on e8. Black has to take on e3, so there is nothing better than this, but to play with the king on e8 usually not a good idea. Rook g8, g5, not bad. Quite aggressive play by Barcelona Forever number 5. Okay, let's see what happens next. Knight to d2 should be the next move of white. Still, I believe black should be taking on e3 because I don't think there is something better than that black can do. And yes, after taking on e3, we have this kind of triple central pawn. Usually, it's not the best to have triple pawns, but I think it should be enough to be better here with the white pieces. King in the center, this is good. Barcelona Forever is thinking, finally decides to give a rook. Okay, let's see what is Barcelona Forever. He wants to mate me, but I have, for example, bishop takes and take bishop here, so this might be dangerous. If I go h3, okay, let's go h3 now. It should not be a mate. To get mated like that, that would be very sad. There is no defense. Come on. This would be unbelievable if there is no defense. This is crazy. But I don't see a defense. Oh, but this is too much. This is too much. If this is just a mate, this is incredible. This is just incredible because it was not looking like a checkmate. Ah, why I don't take the bishop? Yeah, I should have taken on a7 and that's it. I think bishop c5 and then I have rook d1. Or maybe not. Okay. Maybe rook, yeah, rook d1 I should have played. Rook d1, then checkmate, yeah. Queen g8, poor play, poor play. And this was very poor play by me. Rook here, yeah. Now, what can I do? There's queen g4 coming next. What a bad play. Horrible. This was really horrible, so I need to take the rook because I just don't have something better. This is disaster. Why I did this? And yeah, now suffering. Completely winning once again, and yeah, I don't know, just lost. Because there is this queen g3, so I cannot stop it. Okay, I have to take, but this is lost for me because I'm not in time to fight against the pawn. Queen e3 is a very strange play. He should not have done it, I believe. Maybe it's still enough to win the game, but yeah, this is sad. I had to win in one move win, and now I don't know. Actually, he plays a bit strange because I think he was just completely winning. Now it's a fight because finally I get out my pieces. Okay, once my pieces are out, maybe white is doing better. So this was not the best play by my opponent, obviously, because I had a very bad position. And now I have no idea. Oh, he gives me queen. It was a mouse slip, but yes, we've been winning, we've been losing. Typical for a blitz game. Okay, let's go with the next one. Now 2-4-86. So it should not be a very difficult game, but c3. Okay, c3 line, very safe line. So d6, all is still theory. Takes, yeah, this is pretty equal. h3, way too passive. With white, when you have isolated pawn, you should be more active in case you can. So h3 is way too passive play. Still, position is approximately equal, so things are normal. I try to castle as soon as I can, so let's do short castle. And maybe something like bishop d7, rook c8, so standard play. I don't know, queen b4, queen c7, queen b4. Okay, let's go queen b4, queen b6. Bishop g5 as well, not the best, because you should try to keep the pieces on the board. When you have isolated pawn, you're playing for attack, so when you're aiming to mate the black king, you should not go for exchanges. Knight f6. Now two pawns are pretty weak, and I will play rook to d8 next and try to do some damage on the d file. He continues playing, changing all he can. Not a good strategy, so this is not the best. Just queen e7 to be safe. Rook e1, and yeah, I don't know, rook to d8 or something, just to have something on the d file. I don't know which rook is better to put on d8. Both is possible. Queen e2. Now I think he wants to play somewhere. He wanted to go like d5 somewhere, so that's why I go back, knight to d5, just not to give him nothing. And g3, as you can see. Let's go h6. No more nothing here. Maybe knight b4, just to check where the bishop is gonna go. Now maybe something like bishop a4. So I try to irritate a little bit with the pieces. because b3 is gonna have this c3 square, and just to go a6, bishop b5 or bishop c6 next. So black is doing very well here, but there is knight e5, so this is like the only problem. I should have not let the guy play knight to e5. He goes knight to c5 with the idea queen e4. Also that looks dangerous, but I don't think it is dangerous, so I think I can just go bishop b5, queen e4. I have knight f6, so knight f6. But slowly we have to do something here. He takes a pawn, alright, but is it possible? Can I play like here, bishop c6, take? I don't think the knight is capable of escaping, or is it possible to escape with the knight? Interesting. Can the knight escape? Maybe the knight can escape, so I should be more cautious, but I don't know. I don't know if the knight escapes or not. I think it does, so that's pity. That's a pity. So let's go rook to d5. Still, the endgame should be fine for black. It should be enough to be approximately equal. We have the pressure, but nah, rook d5 also bad play. Yeah, this kind of moves are horrible. I should not play like that. Okay, what to do? What to do? Let's fight on. So we have this nice rooks here. Change. Okay, let's change. Let's change the knights. And can I win something? But I don't see how. So probably I have to take with the rook on c6. I don't have something better. Still approximately equal position. Of course, if I don't blunder something now, there is some action here a little bit on the c file. And how should I play here? Can I play like rook c7? Is it possible? Maybe. I'm okay. So let's take. He has blundered a knight. So with a thank you. This was, of course, yeah. He should not have blundered a full knight. Now we should be able to win this position somehow. Let's go rook b5 and a5, simple. Rook b6, a4. Now we're gonna collect the material. Let's go this. Check just for fun. Knight to d5. The guy does not resign. He hopes to win on time against me. Why everybody hopes to win on time? Yeah, finally resignation. So next one. By the way, in case you have some questions, please write them in the chat. I would be happy to answer. In case you want to know something, or some opening, or something from the previous game, don't be shy. Write something in the chat. So we have the move queen e2. Quite an unusual response. Not the best. I don't like the move queen to e2 too much. It's playable, but I think white has better moves to play. Now we have this kind of Spanish setup, much more than a Sicilian setup. Usually white is aiming to play d4. We have d3, so this is very passive. Now black has a bishop f6. Now this is very bad. Wow, c4. Like every move is just disastrous. What a play by my opponent. What is that? To let the square d4 free. Like, why you do that? Okay, still the game goes on, so it's never over. It's always a fight. Let's go for bishop g4 because he will take on c6. We're gonna take back, and let's We can play positionally, let's say. I don't know if I should aim for big advantage or just play positional chess. So let's go positional chess. Bishop pair, long run. It's gonna be not easy for white to avoid everything. So slowly we will improve the position of the pieces, and the black bishop pair is going to be a crusher. This is the idea. As you can see, strong center and simple bishop f6. So the bishop is already now very strong, and it will get even stronger. Rook c1 doesn't matter, the queen gets to g7, then rook g8, so all is pretty normal. And queen g7, let me attack the white king. So rook g8 is our defense. Is there a defense? Bishop f4, I think, just wins exchange already. Yes, let's take it, because why not to take it? So f4, that's the game is done. Just I need to be careful, and that's it. He's hoping for some tricks, or what's the point of that? There are some tricks. Knight e5. He hopes to trick me. Okay. Knight e5 actually. He tricked me, maybe, no? This would be horrible to get again tricked like that. No. Okay, rook f8. Maybe I'm still lucky. Let's see. Let's push. And can we go like... No, we can't. No, this would be horrible to blunder again like that. Okay, let's go rook d8. Maybe we're lucky to win something back. But we're not. No, this is disaster. Completely winning position, and okay, we play against really not a good opponent, and yeah. What a poor play. What a poor play. So let's get the rook at least on the second rank, so we have one piece in the game. Because before we had like 0 pieces in the game, so now we have 1, but such a position. And now we are very close to be lost. What can I do here? I don't know what to do. Okay, let's go here. Doesn't help much, but maybe we can give one check. Can we give this nasty check on e4? Very big thinking for our opponent, but of course still white is like completely winning. Out of question. Are there some hopes? Objectively speaking, no. But we need to hope for a blunder. The rest will not save the position, but a big blunder. So knight to g2. Is it a big blunder? No, not yet. So what can I do here? Okay, king h7. I just have no idea what to play. Oh, now I blundered. I hoped for a big blunder, but then I did the big blunder. So yeah, to lose that position is just horrible. Such a easily winning position we had. Nah, this is disaster. Okay, let's walk. And now we cannot walk. Yeah, to lose that. Pooh. So this is really poor play. Okay, that's it for today. I start to blunder everything in one move. So time to quit playing. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe in case you enjoy some educational chess content. And of course, in case you have some time, join us tonight. Queen takes f5, yeah, but there was queen c3, but before I could have won like 100 times. Yeah, after knight to g2, queen f5, there's queen c3 check. This I saw, I could not take it. There, of course, position is completely lost, but before, just exchange up for nothing, and we played not a very good player, so yeah. Okay, once again, thanks for watching, and eventually see you tonight. Tell your friends in case you enjoy the educational content. Georgi and me, we will continue doing chess education. Maybe not so funny, but quite useful. So thank you and see you tonight.